Welcome all, Raymond for Stream Gamers. Once again, another tutorial. This time we're going to, I'm going to do a bit of a series, not a bit of a series, I'm hoping to do a fairly extensive series regarding not so much takeoffs and stuff like that, but cold and dark starts. And I know I've done a few of these, but what I haven't done is kind of taken through the entire gamut of start procedures, both from GA to, you know, twins and singles, turbos, non-turbos, jet, light jet, heavier jets. And so the intention here with this series is to give a broad view of how we start and get a simple flight plan in and kind of go through some of the steps and how we do that. Before we get started, I noted that my last couple of videos that I've released, the orientation of the video is kind of skewed and it looks weird, and I do apologize for that. I was not aware that that was happening, and I did catch it. Sadly, I had recorded several of these types of videos that I plan to do when I realized that was the case. So I'm going to redo those videos. The other ones, I think there's two of them. Those ones I'm going to leave because they've been up for quite some time, and I'm just going to leave them the way they are. But if you guys see something weird, I would appreciate a comment to say, hey, your video looks weird, or your audio is off, or any of those things. Anyways, let's get started. Today we're going to start with the 172, and as I say, we're going to probably take a dozen or so GA bigger, little bit bigger aircraft and that kind of stuff, and we're going to work our way through this. So there will be a fair amount of videos, I suspect, before the series is over. If there is a cold and dark startup procedure aircraft that I don't cover, by all means go ahead and in the comment section let me know that. And finally, I am, as I've said many times, not an actual real pilot. I'm an avid simmer. And so will I be doing these startups in a correct procedure? Probably not. By all means, in the comment section, if you are you know, a private pilot or commercial pilot, and I'm not procedurally doing it correct, no harm in putting that in the comment section for the rest of the viewers to see, as well as myself. All right. So in a 2024 aircraft, we have all these little doodabbers that we have to remove. Now, we don't need to do this should we start, you know, over on the runway, but the series is to cover it so that you, as the user, can maybe immerse yourself a little bit more in the actual flying rather than just get on the runway and take off. So most of the aircraft, you will come around to the pilot side and click on the doorknob and it will let you in. There's a few that won't, but we'll go over those. When we get started, my process and how I do this, and develop your own is important, but my process is always about fuel first. Is my fuel configuration set up to actually start the aircraft? Without it being there, there's no sense. One of the things that I like to do in the Cessna 172 is put the fuel selector switch in the center, so I draw from both tanks. As well, this is the fuel cutoff switch for the 172, and so make sure it's pushed in. Defaultly, it is pushed in. This is your fuel mixture. Make sure it's full rich, meaning all the way in. You will, on higher altitude airports, as you take off, you will lean the aircraft out, but that's for a different video at a different time. I'm always going to remove these flight yokes because, well, they're in my way and I don't want them there. Whoops, I think I got it. No, there we go. Okay, so let's get started. 172, we put on this emergency power, we turn on the battery, and we turn on the avionics. We'll give that a second. Over here, we'll click on this little doodabber right here, this little soft key, to fully enable that display. Okay. Most of the startup procedures in the 172, 152 alike, there's very little that you actually need to do to get the aircraft started, and we've done, you know, the vast majority of it. Okay, so we got fuel, we've got our avionics are up, we got our standby on, and simply twist the key, and that should have us running. If I've done everything correctly, which I have. The next thing is you can see the low voltage. That is because the alternator needs to be turned on. Low voltage is gone, and there you have it. Now, one thing I forgot to do, and somebody will probably mention it, but really we should be putting on the strobe. I believe we should be putting on the strobe light before we actually start. And then, you know, the almighty clear prop warning should go out, but we won't get to that level of detail. So the next part of this series that we're going to do is we're going to show you, we've shown you how to start the aircraft. It is effectively ready. You would, in general, you would come along here and you would put your nav and your taxi and your beacon on, and so you'd have your taxi ready to start taxiing out toward the runway. The last part of the piece of the puzzle is I want to kind of go over how to set up a flight plan. Just in general, I don't want to get too technical about it. So you're going to see me at times utilize this system you're going to see me at times manually put it in, and I do that so that you can get a feel for, you know, what are the choices. In some aircraft you can use one or the other. Others don't work with this EFB. You have to do it here and or import SimBrief. Those are for jetliners and that kind of stuff so far I've discovered. In this one I'm going to use the EFB. Okay, so we're going to say we're taking off from here, CKK7, and we're going to go to WG. So when we look at, I'm going to make this full screen so we can see the map, because I want you to be able to see this. So you're seeing that the magenta line is a direct route from here, me, to here, destination. Okay. Now, if I were to look at a departure procedure, you'll see direct, and direct is fine. Generally for light aircraft, I don't know that you need to do a whole huge procedure, but I want to show you this VR pattern. Defaultly, it's selected as left auto. Okay, so you can come through these things and it will show you, you know, what that procedure actually is going to do, right? So you can have a 45-degree climb out. In general, that's probably the one that I would use. If I were using any, I would probably use this. So let's just change that procedure and utilize that one, okay? So now when we look in here, there is our procedure. We've taken off, climbed out, turned, and went to our destination. Now likewise, in this part of the procedure here, so we can look at our arrival. Well, which one do we want to arrive at? Like we can also look at in our approach. So let's say we're going to come in on, I don't know, let's pick, that doesn't matter. Let's just pick that. So you see our arrival is out here somewheres, and you can change this as you see fit. The whole point of this is that you actually see that you can come in here and you can adjust what you want, and you can see what it would look like. Like for example, this line would go to here and then come in. So if I hit change procedure, when I come here, you can see now I leave my airport, I go here, and then I make this weird turn and then I come back in. Again, this is general aviation. I don't think you would typically do that. The next step is to file with ATC and send to the avionics. And if you look here, our flight plan is right there, right? Let me zoom it in. That's our flight plan, right? Just as we laid it out. So that's how you lay out a flight plan. That's one of the methods in which you can lay out a flight plan. That is the Cessna 172. It's going to be very similar in all of the light Cessna aircraft that have the G1000, which that's what this is a G1000. The start procedure, all of this is going to be the same whether it has G1000 or not. Okay. And of course, the final thing that you would do is you would probably put a stage of flaps in, you would hit your trim, and so on and so forth. Anyways, that's the video, and we'll get to the next one. I am Raymond, and this is Stream Gamers, and we will get to the next video quickly. Don't sweat the little things. The little things will look after themselves. The big things, do something about those that you can. Don't worry about the ones you can't do anything about, and be kind. Otherwise, enjoy life, and we will get you on to the next one. Of course, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all those wonderful things down there at the bottom. I appreciate that. Appreciate you all, and on to the next one. Bye-bye now.